Have you ever uncovered the devastating reality concealed behind the dazzling fame of Cher, the iconic pop legend? Today, as Cher nears her 80s, her life has been far from the glittering fantasy many assume. While the world has witnessed only the glamour and stardom, behind the scenes lies a story of turmoil, heartbreak, and emotional scars that never truly faded. In this video, you'll delve into the painful struggles Cher has faced, haunting moments that may deeply unsettle you. Let's begin. Cher's journey started in a household riddled with instability. Her parents, Georgia Holt and John Sarkeesian, met young. Georgia was working at a donut shop in Fresno, California, while John, a truck driver, was known for his striking looks and charisma. Their whirlwind romance led to a hasty wedding in Nevada, fueled by youthful passion and impulsive dreams. Yet, reality struck hard when Georgia quickly realized marriage wasn't for her and walked away. After some convincing, she agreed to a 3-month reconciliation, but before that period ended, she became pregnant with Cher. By the time Cher was just 10 months old, her parents split for good. Though she never grew close to her biological father, Cher always cherished her Armenian roots, a legacy he instilled in her, one that remained a core part of her identity. Her formative years were marked by relentless change, largely due to her mother's string of marriages. Among the stepfathers in her life, actor John Southall, Georgia's third husband, played the most significant role during Cher's early childhood. Still, even that bond shattered when their marriage dissolved by the time Cher turned 9. Georgia Holt wed a staggering 7 times, including 2 brief reunions with Cher's birth father. In a 1978 interview, Georgia admitted that societal norms of the era pressured her into marrying repeatedly, as cohabiting without marriage was frowned upon. Consequently, Cher's upbringing was a revolving door of new homes, new father figures, and an ever-present lack of stability. While Georgia chased her own dreams in music and acting, success remained elusive, and financial strain was a constant shadow. At just 2 years old, Cher's circumstances grew so dire that her mother had no choice but to leave her in a Catholic orphanage for several weeks, while scrambling to find work and shelter. Cher and her half-sister also spent extended stretches living with their grandparents, shuffled back and forth as Georgia fought to keep them afloat. Cher's childhood was scarred not just by emotional voids, but also by material deprivation. In a 2010 Vanity Fair interview, she recalled the humiliation of wearing tattered clothes and being reprimanded for ruining her shoes so worn she had to fasten them with rubber bands just to attend school. Life swung between extremes. One week, they survived on canned stew and beans. The next, they were in a Beverly Hills mansion. These jarring contrasts painted a chaotic, confusing reality for young Cher, torn between fleeting luxury and crushing hardship. Yet, these early trials, as painful as they were, molded the resilience, fortitude, and profound depth that would later define the superstar the world adores. Cher's teenage years were a paradox. While her striking looks and magnetic personality made her stand out, she often felt like she didn't truly fit in. Beneath the surface, she nurtured a burning ambition. She knew she was destined for fame. While her peers were preoccupied with schoolwork and social circles, Cher was already envisioning her future. The places she'd live, the glamorous outfits she'd wear, the roaring crowds she'd command. Her mind wasn't focused on academics, but it wasn't just a lack of interest. She faced real learning challenges that made school even more difficult. Reading and writing didn't come easily to her, and in an era when such struggles were poorly understood, she was frequently misunderstood. Some subjects clicked effortlessly, while others felt insurmountable. Teachers often wrote on her report cards, not living up to her potential, piling guilt onto a system where she already felt out of place. By 16, during her junior year of high school, Cher made a daring choice. She dropped out to chase her dreams. With nothing but sheer determination, she headed to Los Angeles. It was there she crossed paths with Sonny Bono, a man already entrenched in the music industry. At first, their relationship was purely practical. Cher moved into his apartment as a housekeeper. But slowly, a deeper connection blossomed, one that would redefine the trajectory of her life. Together, they forged a musical partnership that resonated with an entire generation. Their breakout single, I Got You Babe, became more than just a hit. It was a cultural touchstone, a symbol of love and harmony amid the chaos of the 1960s. With their undeniable chemistry, Sonny and Cher became icons, following up with tracks like Baby Don't Go and The Beat Goes On. Their fame skyrocketed, and soon they ventured into film, starring in the 1967 comedy Good Times. But despite their efforts, the movie fell flat. Undaunted, they poured their energy into a more ambitious project, Chastity, a dramatic film written and produced by Sonny as a showcase for Cher talents. Yet again, the result was a letdown, both critically and financially, leaving them under immense strain. Meanwhile, the music landscape was shifting. Their signature folk pop sound was losing its grip as audiences gravitated toward edgier, experimental styles. As their popularity waned, Sonny and Cher pivoted, reinventing themselves as Las Vegas performers. On stage, they blended music with comedy, carving out a new identity beyond the recording studio. This era of Cher life was defined by reinvention, resilience, and relentless evolution. It was the foundation for a journey that would eventually transcend music, propelling her into television, film, and a legacy that still inspires today. As financial pressures mounted, Cher and Sonny took a daring leap. They completely reinvented themselves as Las Vegas nightclub performers. This dramatic career shift marked their evolution from pop music sensations to polished stage entertainers. What began as a necessity unexpectedly blossomed into a remarkable new chapter. Ironically, their Vegas act, a vibrant mix of music, razor-sharp wit, and playful onstage chemistry, catapulted them back into the public eye. The duo's unique dynamic, particularly Cher's quick-witted, deadpan humor, gave their performances an electric energy that captivated audiences. The contrast between their personalities created magic on stage, and soon television executives came calling. In 1971, the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour debuted to instant success, quickly becoming a ratings powerhouse. America fell in love all over again with their undeniable chemistry, hilarious banter, and classic musical numbers. However, behind the curtain, their personal relationship was crumbling. While both had begun separate romantic lives outside their marriage, the emotional gulf between them kept widening. Cher would later confess how agonizing it became to maintain their happy couple facade. Yet they persisted, bound together by their careers, public image, and the entertainment empire they'd built. Their lives became so intertwined that even close friends struggled to distinguish where the performance ended and reality began. A revealing 1973 diary entry by Sonny acknowledged that preserving their couple image had become essential to maintaining their professional success. But this emotional charade exacted a heavy toll. By 1974, the pretense became unsustainable, and Cher ultimately filed for divorce. Their legal and marital partnership officially ended in 1975, marking not just a personal separation, but triggering one of Cher's most difficult life chapters. Having relied on Sonny to handle all business matters while she focused on performing, Cher found herself in dire financial straits after the split. She emerged from the marriage with minimal assets while facing substantial debts, a devastating outcome for someone who had invested her talent, time, and complete trust in their partnership. This painful dissolution represented more than the end of a marriage. It closed a defining era of Cher life. While it would ultimately launch her solo ascent, the transition came at enormous emotional and financial cost. This period tested Cher like never before, forcing her to release a bond that had shaped her identity for more than 10 years and begin anew with nothing but her indomitable spirit, legendary voice, and sheer determination to persevere. While the world continued seeing her television glow, few realized the private turmoil she endured. Following the breakup of her iconic partnership, Cher faced her most daunting challenge yet. For the first time in over a decade, she stood alone in the spotlight without her professional counterpart, financial security, or the safety net of the duo that had made her a star. Cher, ever the fighter, absolutely refused to fade into obscurity. She boldly launched her own television program, aptly named Cher, venturing into uncharted territory, especially after being warned she couldn't succeed without Sonny. In a stunning reversal of expectations, the show became an instant triumph, with audiences wholeheartedly embracing her as a standalone performer. This resounding success proved her star quality had always been hers alone. Meanwhile, Sonny attempted his own venture with the Sonny Comedy Review. But while Cher program thrived, his faltered and was axed after a single season. Their professional trajectories, once perfectly synchronized, now moved in completely different directions. While television success came relatively easily, Cher's musical journey proved far more challenging. Her 1975 album Stars barely registered on the charts, and 1976's I'd Rather Believe in You performed even worse, failing to chart entirely. Undeterred, she pushed forward with 1977's Cherished, only to face the same crushing disappointment when it too failed to resonate with listeners or make the charts. The challenges multiplied when she teamed up with her new husband, Southern rock musician Gregg Allman, to record To the Hard Way, credited as Allman and Woman. The collaborative project failed to excite fans of either artist, receiving a lukewarm reception before quickly disappearing from public consciousness. By 1978, Cher's career momentum appeared to be stalling significantly. Warner Brothers ultimately terminated her contract, Cherring, in a period of professional uncertainty. This phase of her life became a quiet battle, fighting to re-establish herself in an industry that praises reinvention in theory, but rarely supports it in practice. This wasn't just a test of her talent, but of her fundamental resilience. She had already demonstrated her ability to overcome personal devastation. Now she faced the even greater challenge of rebounding from a series of professional setbacks that threatened to eclipse her stardom. In a surprising twist shortly after her divorce from Sonny, Cher's life took another dramatic turn in 1975, when she embarked on a passionate romance with Gregg Allman, the legendary Southern rock frontman. In a whirlwind decision just 3 days after her separation became official, the couple married. What initially seemed like a fresh start rapidly devolved into turmoil. Merely 9 days after exchanging vows, Cher filed for separation. The world she entered with Gregg stood in stark contrast to everything she'd known, immersing her in an unfamiliar lifestyle she was completely unprepared for. It represented a jarring clash of two radically different universes. Yet glimmers of hope remained. Gregg expressed sincere intentions to transform himself and forge a lasting relationship with Cher, making genuine efforts to repair their fractured bond. Though fragile, their connection wasn't completely broken. 1 month later, the couple reconciled, determined to make their union work. However, the underlying issues persisted, creating ongoing challenges that wouldn't simply vanish with their reconciliation. Cher faced a pivotal moment in 1976 when she chose to reunite with Sonny to revive their popular variety show. This professional decision created additional stress in her already strained marriage to Gregg Allman. The relentless demands of celebrity life, physical separation, and lingering unresolved issues made their relationship increasingly difficult to sustain. When Gregg initiated divorce proceedings, it appeared their story had reached its conclusion, until fate intervened with unexpected news. Cher discovered she was pregnant, dramatically altering their path forward and infusing their troubled union with new meaning and hope. The couple reunited, this time united by the profound purpose of creating a family together. The birth of their son, Elijah Blue Allman, brought much-needed light into their lives. Yet despite this joyful development and their sincere efforts, their relationship remained fraught with tension and instability. By 1978, after numerous attempts to make things work, they ultimately chose to separate permanently. In later reflections about this turbulent period, Cher would describe their connection with poignant brevity, acknowledging the depth of their bond while recognizing the painful challenges that left permanent scars on both their lives. Throughout these personal storms, Cher maintained remarkable composure, carrying herself with dignity even during her most difficult moments. She preserved all the memories, both beautiful and painful, and continued moving forward with quiet determination. This chapter of her life represented more than just a failed marriage. It was a profound journey about perseverance in the face of disappointment, about confronting painful realities, and ultimately understanding that love alone cannot sustain a relationship, no matter how genuine the feelings may be. Following her divorce from Greg Allman, Cher stood at yet another professional crossroads. Her music career, once so dominant, now struggled to find its footing in an industry that was rapidly evolving without her. But true to her resilient nature, surrender was never an option. In a bold move to reinvent herself, she signed with Casablanca Records, the legendary label at the forefront of the disco revolution. Though Cher had always identified more with rock music, she courageously embraced this new musical direction, recording Take Me Home, a vibrant departure into disco territory. The gamble paid off spectacularly when the title track Take Me Home became the breakthrough hit she desperately needed. Glamorous, pulsating, and completely unlike anything in her previous repertoire. This success catapulted her back into the limelight, now reimagined as a dazzling disco icon drawing comparisons to the genre's biggest stars. However, maintaining this newfound success proved just as challenging as achieving it. Her follow-up album, Prisoner, intended to blend her rock roots with disco influences, struggled with an identity crisis. Cher's artistic desire to include more introspective, less dance-oriented material clashed with the label's commercial expectations, resulting in a project that failed to make any significant impact on the charts. Cher, ever resilient, made another bold artistic pivot, this time returning to her rock music origins. In 1980, she formed the band Black Rose, collaborating with her romantic partner and guitarist Les Dudek. The group embodied raw, unfiltered rock energy with a grittier sound and defiant attitude. This venture finally allowed Cher to realize her long-standing ambition of fronting a genuine rock band. However, an unforeseen obstacle emerged. Her name was conspicuously absent from the album cover, leaving many fans unaware of her involvement. The powerful vocals that defined the project were unmistakably hers, yet without proper recognition, the album failed to gain traction. Sales were underwhelming, and by 1982, both the musical partnership and her relationship with Dudek had quietly dissolved. Despite these setbacks, Cher's determination remained unshaken. She continued evolving, experimenting with different creative directions in her relentless pursuit of artistic fulfillment. This period of trial and error, with its alternating triumphs and disappointments, perfectly encapsulated Cher's indomitable spirit. It revealed her fundamental nature, a perpetual innovator who constantly reinvents herself, rebuilding her career from the ground up even when public attention wanes. Her ability to persevere through obscurity demonstrated the same resilience that fueled her greatest comebacks. Following professional challenges in music and personal turmoil, Cher courageously embarked on an entirely new path: acting. This wasn't merely a career change. It was a profound leap of faith at a time when others might have retreated from the spotlight. Her 1983 supporting role in Silkwood marked a stunning transformation. Sharing the screen with acting heavyweights Meryl Streep and Kurt Russell, Cher delivered a performance of such raw power in this fact-based drama that it silenced skeptics overnight. Her work earned both a Golden Globe win and an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Revelations that forced the industry to recognize her as a serious dramatic actress, rather than just an entertainer diversifying into film. This breakthrough launched Cher's remarkable second act in Hollywood. Over subsequent years, she carefully selected challenging roles in prestigious projects like Mask and Suspect, demonstrating impressive range and emotional depth. But her crowning achievement came in 1987 with Moonstruck. As Loretta Castorini, a widowed Italian-American woman navigating the tension between practicality and passion, Cher delivered a performance that was simultaneously hilarious and heartbreaking. The film's perfect blend of romantic comedy and poignant drama resonated globally, and Cher's luminous, authentic portrayal earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress, forever cementing her status as a formidable acting talent. Cher Academy Award represented far more than a golden statuette. It stood as a triumphant declaration to the world. A woman who had faced constant skepticism, been underestimated at every turn, and perpetually boxed in by her previous identities, had now emerged as one of the most revered actresses of her generation. This wasn't merely professional success. It marked a complete metamorphosis. Every reinvention, every setback overcome, every ounce of perseverance had culminated in this defining moment. The outsider child who never fit in at school, the struggling teenager who held her shoes together with rubber bands, the entertainer constantly warned she couldn't succeed alone, now reigned supreme in Hollywood entirely on her own merits. Just as Cher reached the apex of her acting career, with prestigious awards, critical acclaim, and challenging roles showcasing her remarkable range, life delivered another unexpected twist. During production of 1987's The Witches of Eastwick, she began experiencing unexplained health issues. What initially seemed like minor fatigue gradually escalated into debilitating symptoms that couldn't be ignored. The vibrant performer known for her boundless energy found herself confronting a mysterious viral illness that would impact her life for years to come. As her condition worsened, she developed pneumonia, forcing her to abandon all professional commitments entirely. For 2 agonizing years, she couldn't act, couldn't perform musically, and had to decline coveted roles as her body simply refused to cooperate. In a revealing New York Times interview, Cher later described this period with heartbreaking honesty. "I was really, truly devastated. And who could blame me?" After clawing her way to the top through sheer determination, being sidelined by forces beyond her control created a unique anguish. This became her most private struggle, a quiet suffering far removed from the glamour of red carpets and cheering audiences. When she finally regained her health, the comeback required starting from scratch yet again. This chapter contained no dramatic public breakdowns, just the silent resilience of a woman learning to rebuild after life forced her to stop. While Cher focused on resurrecting her solo career across music and film, Sonny Bono embarked on a surprising transformation of his own. By the late 1980s, the entertainer who had once shared the spotlight with Cher made a dramatic career shift into politics. His 1988 election as mayor of Palm Springs, California, stunned those familiar with his show business persona. But Sonny proved unexpectedly adept in this new arena, rising through political ranks until his 1994 election to the U.S. House of Representatives for California's 44th District. Though their romantic partnership had dissolved years prior, this development created an intriguing parallel. Both former partners reinventing themselves successfully, just in completely different spheres. Where Cher continued dazzling in entertainment, Sonny found his calling in public service, earning respect in a world far removed from their shared past on stage and screen. Cher never ceased acknowledging Sonny's profound influence on her life's trajectory. Their iconic partnership had left an indelible mark on pop culture while fundamentally shaping the woman she became. Then came a devastating tragedy no one anticipated. During a ski vacation in Aspen, Colorado, Sonny suffered a fatal accident on the slopes. The shocking news reverberated globally, but the loss struck Cher with particular intensity. Immediately interrupting her commitments in London, she rushed back to Los Angeles to join grieving family members. At the memorial service, the world witnessed a different side of Cher. Not the glamorous superstar, but a woman mourning someone who had once been her entire world. Through tear-filled eyes, she delivered a moving eulogy that celebrated Sonny's brilliance, ambition, and their extraordinary journey together. With emotional yet composed words, she honored how he had transformed a shy teenage girl and himself into entertainment royalty. Notably absent were references to their later conflicts. Instead, she focused on the enduring gratitude for their shared history. Her tribute revealed the complex humanity behind their public persona, reminding everyone that beyond the catchy tunes and comedic banter stood a man of remarkable vision who fearlessly pursued unconventional paths. This poignant moment offered both closure and testament to a relationship that, despite its complications, formed the bedrock of Cher's extraordinary life. Behind the glittering facade of global stardom, Cher faced perhaps her most challenging role: motherhood. The relentless demands of her career, endless tours, film shoots, and public appearances created inevitable distance from her children. Her youngest, Elijah Blue Allman, candidly discussed this complicated dynamic in a revealing 2014 interview. Recalling being sent to boarding school at just 7 years old, he described the profound sense of rejection he carried. When you're that young, it's impossible not to feel pushed away. Now an adult, Elijah acknowledged still working through these childhood wounds, stating with poignant honesty, "I'm learning to make peace with it, but that doesn't make it okay." A glimmer of reconciliation emerged in 2013 when Elijah and his wife, Mary Angela King, temporarily moved in with Cher, offering a precious opportunity to mend fractured bonds. This period held beautiful promise, a chance to rewrite their story with deeper understanding. However, undisclosed conflicts arose, shattering this fragile reunion and leaving mother and son once again navigating painful estrangement. These private struggles revealed the heartbreaking trade-offs between Cher's unparalleled professional achievements and the personal sacrifices they demanded. A tension many working mothers know all too well, albeit on a less public scale. Elijah expressed no resentment when discussing their relationship, characterizing it instead as an ongoing evolution. As an adult, he reflected thoughtfully, your perspective changes from when you were a teenager, though certain unresolved matters still linger. Yet beneath this honest acknowledgement shone unwavering admiration for his mother. She's phenomenally gifted, stunningly beautiful. I mean, she's Cher. How could you not adore her? He stated with genuine warmth. Their story doesn't present a picture-perfect resolution, but rather a profoundly human narrative of a mother and son navigating the complicated terrain woven from time's passage, celebrity's glare, and life's inevitable wounds. It serves as a poignant reminder that beneath every legendary persona beats a human heart, and every individual's life comprises its own intricate journey. Cher's experience of motherhood defied conventional norms. Her existence under spotlights, perpetual touring, and the unrelenting pressures of superstardom rarely permitted traditional family structures. Yet through all the turbulence, her devotion to her children never wavered, even when mutual understanding proved difficult to achieve. Her firstborn with Sonny Bono, originally named Chastity's son Bono, would eventually embark on an intensely personal metamorphosis that would challenge both their relationship and their capacity for growth. In the late 2000s, Chastity began gender transition, embracing his true identity as Chaz Bono. For Chaz, this represented a courageous journey toward authenticity and self-realization. For Cher, however, the process initially triggered complex emotions, anxiety, confusion, and apprehension. Ironically, despite being an LGBTQ+ icon celebrated for her advocacy, Cher confessed struggling profoundly with her child's transition. Speaking openly with Pride Source, she revealed, "I didn't navigate this transition effortlessly." She articulated her early fears about losing the daughter she'd raised while simultaneously learning to know the son emerging before her. Yet gradually, something more powerful than uncertainty took root: unconditional maternal love. As time progressed, Cher didn't merely offer passive acceptance, but became an outspoken advocate, transforming her initial hesitation into wholehearted celebration of Chaz's authentic self. This emotional evolution showcased Cher's remarkable capacity for growth, proving that even icons must sometimes journey through doubt to arrive at profound understanding. Where once stood fear, now flourished deep respect for Chaz's courage, completing another of life's full-circle moments that have continually shaped Cher's extraordinary narrative. Cher didn't just accept Chaz's transition, she became his fiercest champion, fighting for his right to happiness and authentic self-expression. She opened her heart to understanding, educated herself thoroughly, and ultimately let unconditional love conquer all doubts. Looking back on their transformative journey, Cher revealed, "Chaz has never been more fulfilled, and our connection has never been stronger." Their bond had evolved into something more profound and truthful than ever before. Chaz's path represented more than personal evolution. It became a testament to the life-changing power of recognition, empathy, and acceptance, beginning with self-acceptance and extending to loved ones. For Cher, this experience redefined motherhood, not as static guardianship, but as mutual evolution through uncertainty, transformation, and ultimately, profound healing. She walked every step beside her child, honoring his truth as the ultimate victory of love over fear. Now nearing her 8th decade, Cher stands as a living monument to resilience, a rare individual who has weathered storms that would break most spirits. Behind the dazzling costumes, platinum records, and accolades lies a woman forged through extraordinary trials. The isolation of childhood, romantic devastation, and the crushing loneliness of being misinterpreted, even by cherished companions. She's witnessed relationships crumble, confronted debilitating health battles, and endured private anguish while audiences worldwide roared their admiration. Yet she persisted. Cher's countless reinventions weren't mere career pivots. They were acts of defiance, each rebirth claiming power from adversity. She's embodied countless roles in one extraordinary lifespan: the neglected daughter, the imperfect mother, the global superstar, the perpetual outsider, the fearless advocate for marginalized voices. Through every triumph and tragedy, she's remained unbroken, her trademark wit and indomitable spirit burning as bright as ever. Her story contains no illusions of perfection or effortless success, only raw, hard-won authenticity. Perhaps this uncompromising realness, this refusal to surrender her truth, makes her legacy so enduring. If Cher's journey has inspired you, if her music, resilience, or mere existence has given you courage, we invite you to share in the comments below. Which chapter of her extraordinary life resonates most deeply with you? What does Cher represent in your personal story? Join us in honoring the remarkable woman behind the fame, the vulnerable, invincible human being who transformed pain into power time and time again.